Welcome everyone to our latest version of PAA Talks. We're very excited to have you all join us today, and we're very excited to have a member of the PAA board, Andreas Batakis, who now is serving his second term as PAA Culture and Education Chair, based in Toronto, Canada, a member of the Psilorites chapter in Detroit. As well as a former president in the Toronto area, and just an overall great cheerleader and proponent for the Pancretans. So welcome very much to join us today, Andrea.
It's an absolute pleasure, Diane, and thank you very much for having me. It's a great honor to be serving PAA, this wonderful organization, and to have the ability to promote our very unique, if we say so ourselves, our very unique and rich cultural heritage.
Thank you. So today I thought we'd spend a few minutes to talk about just looking back slightly to the success that we just had this last spring when we did a dance workshop in the greater New York area. And Andrea, why don't you give us a little bit of information about that?
Oh, gladly. I mean, the idea of the Culture and Education Fund is to help our membership, to help the chapters to do things that normally would be more challenging for them to do, right? So we have done during the past 2 years, and including, of course, the latest, which was the national dance workshop that took place in New York. We've done those projects that they really needed that extra amount of organizing and coordinating. And the New York one was a great success because we got 60. The whole idea was, how can we attract youth and youth that have never experienced what the PAA, what the Pancretan is all about, and they can see, they can feel that part of the Christian tradition that we are also proud of and feel it in their bones. So it was a beautiful thing because coordinating, of course, with the local chapters in New York, who were very happy to assist since we had it located there, and coordinating even with the prefecture of Crete, the Periferia Kritis, who were also so open and supportive, right, with the whole process. We managed to get those 60 kids spend a full 3 days with 6 dance instructors that came from Crete for this specific event. And it was a beautiful event. It was catered. There was food for all the participants. There was some nights that they were done at the local syllabus. So those kids, many of whom I want to note, had never been to a Pancretan event, ever, right? And to take it a step further, the reason that we as PAA and as a committee thought that New York is a perfect location was not only because New York, it's a hub, it has all the airports, so it's easier for people to get there from all over the US and Canada, but also because they don't have any permanent dance instructors there. Like, there isn't any people. A lot of us are blessed in our locations, in our chapters, to actually have people that they do classes and teach kids how to dance every single week. They don't have that in New York. So that was even more of an event and a celebration of the Cretan culture. And by the way, anyone can go to our website, to the Pancretan website. You can go to our YouTube channel. You can just Google those, and you'll see their videos and see the kids, see the instructors, see all of us, how we participated and how mostly the youth enjoyed that event.
Yeah, and I strongly encourage anyone who really, the people who participated and anyone else, anyone who's listening to this podcast, to go to www.pancretan.org and just go under the culture tab under our programs, and you'll learn about the history of the dances, which is really wonderful, and a great referral for all those 60 participants who came and went back to their chapters to teach the dances. I also want to thank you because I think what's happened in the greater New York area is and beyond is now they're doing a lot more dance workshops, and I know you're going to talk about that a little bit, and expanding, and they all perform at their Glendies, and it's really impressive to see what this youth is doing with our dance and our music. So we do have this wonderful fund, thanks to the generosity of so many of you listening and years of giving to the Pancretin. And so we do have a fund that is available to our chapters, which of course then filters down to our members. So we want to talk a little bit about that because we've kicked off this year's application process, and we thought it would be really great to be able to let people know again how the project works, how you apply, ideas that have been done in the past, maybe some ideas for the future. So, Andrea, why don't you tell our listeners how to make this happen?
Of course, gladly. It's a very easy process. So first of all, every fall, now the way that we have it structured is every September, our district governors and all our chapter presidents, as long as they have updated us with their newest email address, they actually get an email with the whole process, with the application, which is very straightforward. Any chapter can decide to use their funds. They know they get the list, so they know exactly what amount they are allocated with, and they can decide to organize and do an event anytime between July 1st and end of June. They have to submit their application for that event by November 15th. So in this case, let's say that your chapter has an idea about an event that's going to happen even if it is in February. It doesn't matter. You need to submit your application now. And I'll give an example of one of the great past events that inspired people to do more similar things, which was the movie project, right? Like 2 years ago, we brought a movie for the Battle of Crete, and it went in 9 or 10 different locations within the US. So now some chapters really like that idea and some districts, and they're actually doing that again this year. And they're going to bring a movie and they're going to organize an event and they're going to have a speech afterwards and people interacting in a reception talking about the movie, which is a beautiful thing. And that is, as long as, of course, it's based on our Cretan culture and tradition, that is definitely an event that can happen and you can utilize the allocated amounts that you have from the fund. All you need to do is you submit your application by November 15th, and then just so that you can get paid by the end of June, you have to submit the receipts as well to us so that we can approve it. So that is how it works. Pretty straightforward. You can also, if you have any questions, if you are listening now, talk to your chapter presidents. Hey, do you know about this fund? Do you have the letter? If they don't have the letter, reach out to us. We'll get you the letter. If they don't have the letter, they can ask their district governors as well, right? How can we do this? And I do want to offer some food for thought from past experiences of those past years. One of the reasons that it became very successful, the fund during the past 2 years, is because also a lot of districts and different chapters decided to come together, to unite. And that was a beautiful thing. Why? Because if 3 or 4 chapters from the same district say, we want to do this event, but we want to do it together, then they combine their allocated funds as well. So it's even easier for them to now use the funds because the idea of this fund is to be utilized. My aim and our aim as PAA is to go to the next convention and say 100% of the funds was utilized and we did so many events and congratulations to everyone. This is the idea. It's not, we don't just want to have the money there for no reason. So think about, anybody can actually think and propose that to their chapter and come together. What a beautiful thing to collaborate with other neighboring chapters or the whole district to organize a district-wide event so that the funds can be utilized and you can get people engaged and you can do things that you've never done before. Yes, we all usually do a dance a year, and that is not the kind of event that the fund is for. The fund is for the types of culture and education events that wouldn't normally happen, or they have a more unique nature, like a Battle of Crete movie that is going to be promoted, a dance workshop that is going to offer something very unique, a seminar that has to do with a professor talking, for example, about the impact of the 1866 revolution and what happened in Arcady and how that affected politics in the US, because it did. So these are things that the fund can be used for. And hopefully our conversation today, Diane, and that I'm always excited when we get together and we talk about this, can excite and ignite the fire within other people to do things.
And I think you're seeing that currently happening with these districts getting together. If some of you are on Facebook, and if you're not, please follow us on Facebook or Instagram. You're seeing a number of new dance workshops, and a lot of them are, it seems to me like are district-based, or a couple chapters have gotten together, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yes, we're seeing this already happening in 2025, fall and winter of 2025, and it's an absolutely beautiful thing. We're so proud of those chapters and their presidents, their volunteers that are routing and making it happen. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, and I can say for my own district, we had one just recently. And, again, super easy to get the chapters to agree to decide whether they want to use all their funds or a portion of their funds to contribute towards the project. It was wonderful to watch those videos of, again, young at heart and youngsters all participating in this dance workshop and really learning and really and having the opportunity to show off what they've learned by the end of the day as well, too, which is really a wonderful thing. Um, so this is now your second term as cultural chair. You mentioned the movie, and you've done a lot of behind the scenes quiet things, and to prepare us for even some of the programs that we've done the last 2 summers in Crete. We've been trying to encourage participation with all the programs that we try to do in Crete. And hopefully continue that on an annual basis. But as you look ahead, do you have some ideas, or as I think I mentioned to you, and before we start talking, sort of percolating in your head of things that you'd like to see happen, sort of on a national basis?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see in 2026 and another, like we had our 2025, let's say, nationwide event or national event, which was the PAA dance workshop in New York. And I would like to see a national event taking place as well in 2026. So once a year, this is how I see it. If we focus on specific things, it's easier rather than being segmented and try to do 100 things at the same time. No, don't chase 20 rabbits, just chase one rabbit and make sure that the rabbit gets there. So this is my idea. So yeah, I do have some thoughts about the national event, but it's early stages. So I'm not sure if I want to share a lot of this here. I just want to, just stay tuned. Stay tuned. I do envision an event that it's going to be interactive as well. And I would like it to be something very different from what we have done up to now. So something very, very unique. So stay tuned. More details hopefully will come before the end of the year.
I love that. People just need to keep coming back for more. That's why you need to follow us on our social media pages and make sure we have your email in our
Exactly.
system, because that's the best way to find out what's going on. And obviously, go to your meetings if you can, local meetings, and attend as many of the events as in the fall. My goodness, there are events all over North America. And it's a busy couple months. I wish I could be at all of them, as I'm sure you do as well, but you know that the national board is always sort of participating in spirit, or we try to have representation at every event if we can. So I'm excited about what is ahead of us. And again, I'm excited that the programming in Crete is attracting so many people. Whether, we did the event in Arcadia a couple years ago. We have the Strata, which is hugely successful. And just kind of goes on and on, whether it's, as simple as making kalitsunya. I'll tell you, that's a skill.
It is. Oh, yes, it is.
And especially for some people, whose family, I've lost both my parents. And so having the opportunity to now, work with people from Crete who can show me how to make some of the specialties that we only do in Crete, that, I just may not have taken advantage of that when my parents were around. And now I have that ability because of these programs that we do. So I think those are really important ways of passing on our culture. Um, so our audience is wide and diverse, both on our social media sites and on this podcast. And I was wondering if you could just give our audience a little bit of, what is the importance of keeping this Cretan culture alive, not only to our young adults, but obviously throughout our organization, and the meaning of it, and maybe your personal meaning of it, as well as sort of a global look at it.
So that is such a great question. That's such a great question. I mean, it always comes back for me to the words of Nikos Kazantzakis, right? Who is one of my all-time favorites, authors and so on. And in his words, he says, you yourself should take on the responsibility of saving the world. Take it upon yourself. You don't look at anybody else, and you never stop striving for something better. There is something very, very unique for us that we have this blessing of being from the island of Crete. There is something very unique because we had to go through so many struggles. We struggled and we fought for way more years than the rest of the Greeks had to fight for our independence. And this pride, this resistance, this rebellious spirit and passion is always burning, is always burning. And I feel that staying connected with our heritage and remembering what our ancestors are doing, seeing what people are doing today, because even the beautiful things that even today, people in Crete are doing beautiful things, right? There's people working in the medical sector that they're doing amazing things. There are people working in the touristic sector that they're doing amazing things, in agricultural, in a lot of different sectors. So staying connected for me personally is like that moral compass, that center. It helps me center in this world because we are in a world that no matter where we are, we can be drawn in many different directions. And there is so many influences. And for our youth as well, everything is so open. Things are more open than ever before, like never in the history of humanity were we exposed in so many things at the same time. So having this connection with our heritage and our moral compass is something that keeps us grounded and keeps us moving forward for the better. So this is why I feel like when I talk with my own kids, I have two kids. I have a wonderful wife, Nectaria, who's very supportive, and without her, I couldn't be doing any of this stuff, by the way. And our two young kids who are twins, and they're now 15 years old. I see now how not even us talking to them directly, but them indirectly, how they have values and ideas that are based upon our heritage and our culture. And they're proud to say that they are from the island of Crete, right? Despite the fact that they live in North America. So it's something that is very unique. It's a huge responsibility for us to carry the torch and pass it on to the youth. And I feel that this is where the Pakritan Association of America and the Pakritan Youth Association of America, right, which is like they're interconnected and intertwined as far as I'm concerned, are probably today more important and more valuable than ever before because it's so easy. It's so easy to drift away, and just forget where you came from, forget your values, and just get sucked into everyday things. So this is where we now take on the responsibility and we stand up and we try to promote whatever we're doing more than ever before. And it is absolutely beautiful and heartwarming to see how people respond to what we're doing today and what all our volunteers are doing and all our chapters are doing, right? Because it's this community spirit as well that has kept the Cretan's tradition alive throughout the years. And it's even if you go to Crete today and someone has been to Crete for 20 years, for 30 years, you'll see that even the young people today are going back to the traditional music. They're going back to the traditional dances. We have now so many wonderful dance instructors and local associations in Crete, musical associations, dancing associations that we're so proud of, and we see what they're doing. And I can mention a few, but I don't want to leave anybody out, but I'll say like Ψιλορίτης, Βιγλάτορες, τα Σφακιά, there's so many λαογραφικοί όμιλοι, so many associations that they're doing beautiful things. In Apokoronas, Andreas's association. What's the name now? It escapes me.
Harilagos.
Harilos. Yeah, how can we forget Harilos? What a beautiful group. So there's so many things going on in Crete right now. And it's a blessing for us to have the ability to promote that, get our youth excited about it. And yeah, that's my take on it.
I see you're wearing a wonderful pin that was designed at and given to everyone who participated at the convention this summer in West Palm Beach, Florida. You brought your whole family, which was wonderful to see them all there. We had, close to 200 youth members there, creating, some with original dance groups and participating in a national dance group. Um, what I know what my takeaway was. What was your takeaway post convention now?
Whew. Um, it's one of these things that unless you experience it, it's very challenging to put it into words. Um, like seeing our youth and seeing people of all ages in that room, participating in the meetings even, but also in that room dancing away, eating it away, just having discussions was just like it's out of this world. Out of this world, the level of connection, the level of love for the island. And when you see all those kids and people that are like fourth generation, fifth generation Cretans, that's like you can't, I could not be more proud to being a small part of all this thing. And I think that my family felt it as well. Like between you and me and the whole world in this case, our kids say, "Can we join the local association dancing group here?" Well, I'm like, it's a national group that is actually dancing, but they got so excited because they could see the excited in the youth that they were of similar age dancing, right? So, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I was pretty speechless when after those dance groups performed and the leadership that really came out of the PYA. We had Costa Camberas on, what was our previous podcast, and hearing his initiative and the importance of culture, universally, right? Not just focused on dance and music, but really looking at the big picture and the importance of all aspects of our history. It's inspiring to see that this organization that's been around for 96 years is in really great hands and will continue to grow. And for that, we thank you for all that you do. Like we all do this, just little, we're all doing a little bit here and there, but I think you build those building blocks and you have something to leave behind for generation to generation, which I think is really important. I want to thank you again, Andrea, for joining us today. Our PAA talks are brought to us by our friends from Canada, from Creta Authentica, and we thank
Yes.
them for continuing to support our PAA talks. And again, these are fun, informative. If you have any other topics that anyone would like to discuss further, just feel free to reach out to us on our website. Again, www.pancretan.org. Thank you again, Andreas Batakis. I will see you, I hope, soon in person. Um, and get out there and start applying for those cultural funds. We're here for you.
Bring it on. We're waiting for you. And if anybody wants, you can reach out to me directly as well. You'll have my email is on the website too, but I can tell you is abatakis@pancretan.org, but you can find it on the website as well. So yeah, anytime you can reach out to me, send me an email, and I'll be happy to support the wonderful initiatives that are going to take place the next 2 years.
Thank you again, and our regards to all of our friends in North America, Canada, and around the globe. And we'll see you next time.
See you soon.